It's the Solo Ladies.
Samantha Hune,
Travis Dietrich,
Andy Hoffman,
Rebecca Rudin,
and Wendy Fox.
When we're not celebrating Samantha's birthday, lounging in a cabana by the Grand Floridian Pool, we're going geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole geeking family. Woo!
Disney World Geeks, Curtis Stone here, and welcome to episode 470 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. This week, one of our Super Geeks, Jocelyn Passty, takes her engineer friends for the first time to Disney World. And I've been chatting and meeting with awesome Disney World fans like Jocelyn about their trips to Disney World for over 8 years. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I started the podcast with my daughter, Lindsay, talking about our Disney World trips, and then we brought on you Disney geeks to tell your trip stories. Our listeners are so positive, caring, generous, and they are experienced Disney geeks. You'll get lots of ideas and tips for your next trip to Disney World from their real-world experiences and trip reports. And we encourage a family atmosphere here on the podcast. Before too long, they were calling me the Podfather, and we'd love for you also to join our Geekin' family. We've got an amazing private discussion group in Facebook. Search for Geekin' on WD Family. It's a great place to ask your questions, share your trip pictures, and engage with one of the best groups of Disney World geeks out there on the internet. And we're independent Disney authorized travel guides with FTC Elite, and we'd love to be your travel guides and help you book your room, tickets, and dining reservations. My wife Margita and her good friend Auntie Judy, they are the Traveling Tiaras. And if you want to get started with your plans on your next trip to Disney World, Universal Studios, Disneyland, do a cruise, just email them at travelingtiaras@gmail.com. Check the show notes. You'll see their email as well as mine if you'd like to reach out to us and get that amazing Disney trip booked and planned. The featured trip report this week is Jocelyn Passty, and I met Jocelyn down in Disney World. And that was the first time she ever knew anything about the podcast because she loved the t-shirt. And you'll hear the story as we begin this trip report. And she does her first adult-only trip with some good friends. And they stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge using DVC points. And we review some great food and tips that she got on the podcast. The Spice Road Table, the German Buffet, Pecos Bills. Oh, there's an upstairs in Pecos Bills? I gotta research that myself. Skipper's Canteen, Docking Bay 7, Oga's Cantina for the very first time. And they're a bunch of engineers, so it's kind of fun to hear their perspectives, how they analyze everything and how they do all the magic on these attractions. Riding Remy, Mickey and Minnie's Railway for the first time. Genie Plus experiences, I know you guys like to hear those, and also some more tips. And I've met a lot of people in the parks and told them about my podcast, but I think Jocelyn is one of the best geeks I ever found while on vacation in Disney World. I'm so glad I finally share her with you this week, geeking on her recent trip to Disney World. Well, I can't believe my next guest. I could have sworn we've had her on the podcast officially to do a trip report. And then I was thinking, boy, I'm searching through my notes and she's not there. And we've had some great interactions through our private Facebook group over the years. And she's just got back from a Walt Disney World trip. So I'm really excited. And please give a warm Geekin' family welcome to Jocelyn Passty. Hey, Jocelyn.
Hey, how are you tonight, Kurt?
I am doing fantastic. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. You know, I've interviewed probably 400 plus people, so sometimes I don't remember if I've had people on before. So in all honesty, I was wondering. And then you told me you've never been on to do a trip report before.
Never a trip report. No, this is exciting for me.
Well, you got to tell everybody how you found the podcast, Jocelyn.
I am an engineer by trade. I was staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I saw the most amazing shirt that I have ever seen at Disney. It was a set of gears that made up Mickey Mouse, and I was so excited. It said "Geekin' on Walt Disney World," and I was thrilled. So I'm beelined over. I'm like, I need to know, because you are my people, where you got the shirt. and the rest, as they say, is history. I learned about the podcast, and I learned about the Facebook group, and it was just one of the greatest things to happen to me at Walt Disney World.
And there was definitely some karma going on too, because not only did we meet outside, Ken and I were just showing up to, I think, get settled in. Margita and Judy were coming over a little later. We were bringing the car over something and luggage. So we just went out to the little walkway that's like the savannah to go see. And that's where this encounter happened. And then later on that day, we were at lunch over at Jumbo House, right? At the Mara. And I think I was outside. I'm trying to remember, but I came in or my wife messaged me or called me and said, "Hey, your friend's here. We just met a friend of yours." I'm not remember how you guys met. You found them before you saw me, right?
Well, yeah, we struck up a conversation almost independently, and then found out that we all knew each other, that we'd met earlier. So it was fun. The double meeting. And
it doesn't end there. If you know my story, I get up early in the morning, I get my little recorder, and I go out for a walk, and I call it my coffee walk, talking about into my recorder what my day was like. And who do I see in the hallway walking down? It's Jocelyn again the next day. So it was meant to be. Yes, well, and I have thoroughly enjoyed so many of your podcasts through the years. It's always it brightens my week. Let me just say that. So thank you so much for all that. And you are an avid Disney World geek. I can see her room in the background. Her room's a lot like mine, just covered with all kinds of Disney World memorabilia and souvenirs from the parks, I'm sure. Jocelyn, when did you start going to Disney World? So I was 4 the first time my parents took me down to Disney World. We have the cute little, pictures of my much younger father, and little 4-year-old me and Dumbo. And my parents actually got hooked. And so most of my childhood was spent with my parents planning for the next Disney vacation, which, when you live in Colorado, we would plan and save for several years before a trip. And then we would drive down. It was a very long trip from Colorado. It was 2 days in the car. Spend a week or so, and then and so fun memories growing up. So I had Jocelyn send me some of her fun Walt Disney World tips that were fun facts, I think we call them, and she has another cool one. You did some behind the scenes tour when you were 12. Yes, yeah, actually that was that was one of my strongest memories of Disney. This was one of the early behind the scenes tour. I mean, I don't know if they did them much before that, but my parents let me go, and I forget if my father went with me or if I just went by myself. We got to go in the tunnels underneath the Magic Kingdom. We got to go see. This was back when their electrical parade was still going, and we got to see the warehouse where they kept all the equipment for the electrical parade. And they let us look at the butterfly wings, one of the dancing butterflies. Keep in mind these dancers are all quite short. They're like 5'3" or whatever. And those packs weighed about 100 pounds. It was absolutely amazing. They had to dance the entirety of the parade with those huge, lighted packs on them. And that was one of the things that helped tip me over towards engineering, is that, seeing how much of the magic is actually goes on behind the scenes was just mind blowing for me. So. I've had this thought way back in my early days of going to Disney World, that to go to this place, I was blown away as an adult. I didn't go till I was an adult. And that was the one thing, and they talk about it all the time, imagination, all these themes that Walt Disney talks about. It's very inspiring. if you're a creative person, or in your case, engineering obviously plays a huge part, the Imagineers. I'm sure you probably thought about being an Imagineer, and there's a realm of possibilities that you don't experience if you've never been to a place like Disney World. That I really feel bad for kids just for that one reason to not go there. I know my older son, when he was in college, said we went to the Walt's movie, that little museum that they have in Hollywood Studios. We came out of that movie, and my son, he was in college at the time. He was at an art school for graphic design, and he said, "Dad, that was really inspiring." And that just, I don't know why that one little moment with him saying that, of course, I'm a little nervous him going to art college and what kind of work is he going to get when he gets out? But yeah, I always felt that way. It's like, wow, it's cliche. It was all because of a mouse. This place was started, but look at the amazing things that have come out of this place. So I really relate to that. Your second fun fact for sure. Well, your husband and you have some experience down at Disney World too, right?
I don't know if I included this or not. When we were still dating, my parents had told us that we could go down, and our significant others, we were both dating at the time, my brother and I, could fly down and meet us. And so Adam's girlfriend flew down with the family, and I flew down from where I was living at the time. And my husband had been at a conference, and so he flew in a day later. We're all staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and he gets off the bus, and I'm there to meet him. And he gets off wearing a 3-piece suit and mouse ears. And I was just like, oh, it's true love. It's meant to be. And sure enough, we got married about a year and a half later. So that was fun. We had both just started work the year we got married and had no vacation time accrued. And we decided that, we'd postpone the honeymoon and do the honeymoon the following year because, didn't have money, didn't have vacation. And so, it was like 3 days before the wedding. And my mom's like, you got a 3-day weekend coming up, like a couple weeks after you guys get married. Do you want to go to Disney World? And I'm like, yes. So we had our mini moon, which is a baby honeymoon in Disney World. And so that it will always be very special because we had, we have the cutest picture of Mickey kind of, holding our two hands like he's blessing us. And it was just such a fun time. So we quasi honeymooned to Disney World. So.
Well, it sounds like your husband is a Disney geek too, then.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, we were talking about being on the podcast, and he's like, "Oh, and you have to remember to tell them this, and then I think this." It spawned a very long conversation about the important things to convey.
Puts a lot of pressure on you. He could have come on the show too.
Nah, somebody's got to take care of the kids.
Oh, all right. He's got the kids' duty. Yeah. So your parents bought into DVC. And is that pretty much how you go now?
So my parents had kind of picked out normally when the kids leave home, the adults stop going to Disney as much. And my parents went the other way. As soon as we left home, they went and bought into DVC, which was fantastic because since we were still technically living with my parents at home, we were both in college, we were able to buy in with them to the DVC. And so our names are on the contract, and therefore we are full-blooded or whatever they call it, official DVC members ourselves, which has been a very nice perk. So we have done all of our trips since then as DVC members. We go about two or more times a year. My parents go about 4 times a year.
Oh, wow.
So,
I knew you did
the joys of being retired.
Well, I appreciate all the pictures and comments that you post in our private Facebook group, and I was following all along, so I'm looking forward to this trip report. And well, finish up with a lighter topic. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, there's no question. I am a Figment girl through and through. I love my little purple dragon. So, you got to live with some imagination. Yes.
Did you ever see it? I know it's something Judy always talks about is how great it was, the previous version Figment.
The Dreamfinder was fantastic. Yes, I remember the Dreamfinder, and I could probably still sing the original Dreamfinder song. So
yeah, are you okay with its current condition of the ride?
So it's interesting. I don't personally think it's as good, but with little kids, I really started to see the value of having such an amazing ride that really goes into like the senses. And I mean, as far as an educational ride, it was fantastic. My kids knew the five senses long before they could walk.
Great point. Yeah.
So they love it. They always loved the upside down world. It was just it's very clearly a little bit targeted for a younger audience, but I'll always have the fun memories of them just being so much in love with it.
He's so popular.
Yeah.
Is he featured at the Flower and Garden also?
Yes. That was my only souvenir this last trip, is I picked up a Flower and Garden service featuring my little purple dragon. So he gets to be featured in most of the festivals. I find he'll have some sort of merchandising associated with it.
Yeah, you didn't score a popcorn bucket, did you? That was very popular.
I will say my husband did go online and he's like, well, how much is it worth to you? And I'm like, oh, not that much, honey.
I know it was incredible what they were asking on eBay. Did he say what they were when he looked?
So he was following them up when they were in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars ranges. I think the lowest he's seen is about $80 or $90. And he's like, I'll buy it for you at that rate. I'm like, it's a popcorn bucket. So.
Even a big fan can't even really.
Even a big fan. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to carry it around the park at that stage, right? Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about this trip. Who went on the trip?
So this was our first adults only trip since we had our children, and it was a very different trip, very fun trip. Missed the kids, but wow, it was a good time. We took the woman who is my maid of honor back when we got married, and her husband, and so it was the four of us, my husband and myself and my maid of honor and her husband. It was interesting because Ashley and Mike are not huge Disney aficionados. I mean, they know Disney, they've seen some Disney movies, but they are not the diehard Disney peeps that we often go with, or my family are. So it was a very different trip, trying to figure out how to tailor a trip that would appeal to both adults after having years of children's trips, and then also give them a really positive experience where it wasn't just, all right, let's go stand in line for this child's ride for 2 hours. So,
yes, boy, you're so true. Every trip, depending on who you're going with, what you're doing, it can be totally different. So great commentary on that. Well, how'd you make out?
I think it was an absolutely incredible trip. Good. It was very different, but wow, we had a great time.
Oh, so. We're going to get into this deep. So where did you stay?
We actually stayed back at Animal Kingdom Lodge, my parents' home, one of their home locations. So we were back over there. Normally, DVC stay over at Kidani, and that's where we have stayed probably 95% of our trips down there. But this time we were over in Jumbo House. We had expected a standard room, but we ended up with a Savannah view. And let me just say, my poor friends are like, I don't know that I could ever stay in a hotel room again. It's just, if you can't wake up and see animals when you look outside your window, what is the point? So they were absolutely blown away with the quality of the hotel and being able to see animals from your balcony.
Yeah, so, it's kind of like my experience. Yeah. I stayed at downtown Disney the first 2 times with our family. The third time was at the Polynesian. And there I was wrecked. We were all wrecked, spoiled rotten. So I can totally, it's tough to experience these deluxe resorts and try to downgrade afterwards.
Try to go back, yeah.
I can do it. I mean, I'm going enough. I can appreciate them all, but that's a great commentary from them. It's pretty. I mean, Animal Kingdom Lodge it's so unique in so many ways, right? I mean, and I can understand why it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I mean, and it's nice because DVC rooms we stayed in a 2-bedroom, which is bigger than your standard. It's not just literally 2 bedrooms. There are 2 bedrooms, and then they share a kind of a central living space. And, it's got a full kitchen and, a table. So we actually made use of those amenities. We bought stuff to use for breakfast. We ate breakfast in the room. And then, the first day we were there, since my friends they bought 3 days worth of park tickets, and we were there all of the first day. And then, we had a little bit on the tail end as well. So, we did lunch at Sanaa. We went over to Kidani's pool. We enjoyed sitting on the balcony and drinking a bottle of wine. Actually, pro tip for you. This may be common knowledge, but it was new to me. So we bought a bottle of wine in the gift shop, and I asked if he knew if there was a corkscrew in our room, because some of them have them and some of them don't. And he wasn't really sure if they would have it or not. But he pulled one out from underneath the desk and said, "Here, you can use ours to open your bottle before you take it up to your room." And I'm like, that is very clever. Thank you, sir. It turned out we had one, but it was really nice to know that they have one as well. If you end up buying a bottle, that you don't have to buy the corkscrew.
I'm thinking my favorite wine that I love came from Jumbo House, Jam Jar. And I was just thinking maybe it's a twist off.
We did look at the twist off, but this one was really fun. It was Once Upon a Vine.
Oh, nice.
And it was the Big Bad Red. I think.
Was it good?
It was a fantastic wine. Yeah. It's just fun because it was the Once Upon a Vine.
They're known for their wine, actually, right? The restaurant there has some great wine tasting. Chico. At least they used to. Not right now. They're probably not doing it.
Well, I do know that we went to, I think it's a Victoria, the bar there right above the Boma. Mm-hmm. They were doing wine flights, and so you could do different wine flights and everything. We sampled between us. My friend had the sangria. Ben had a nice, I think he had a Riesling, and then I ended up trying one of their cocktail drinks, which was quite good. It had ginger beer in it, and I thought that was very refreshing. So yeah, we did partake of some of the alcoholic opportunities around the hotel, which was fantastic.
One of the questions I want to insert here, Jocelyn, is the transportation, and particularly because the Magical Express is no longer an option from the airport. Did you guys fly in, and did you use transportation?
Yeah, normally we drive, but this time, since it was just the two of us, we flew down. We were kind of up in the air as to how we were going to get there, and we priced it all out, looked at all the different options. It looked like Uber for about the time when we were going to be there was going to be on the order of, anywhere from $30 to $60 one way. Sunshine and Mears were very similar as far as cost, but we knew Mears had done the buses previously, so we went ahead and signed up with them. Obviously, it's different than the Tragic Express in that you had to get your own luggage and get it to the bus, but we had pre-booked, so we walked up, we scanned our little barcode, they waved us into a line, just like the old Magic Express days. We went up, and they came in, and they said, "You want Animal Kingdom?" We're like, "Yep." They're like, "Go on out and sit in bus 2 or whatever." And so we walked out. We sat on the bus for about 20 minutes while they loaded people as they appeared. But, it was air conditioning, and we had nice seats, so no complaints. Right on the dot at 11:30, all the buses headed out and went off to the parks. We were the last of 3 stops, but it was less than an hour to make all of the 3 stops and get us to our resort. Mm-hmm. So from the time we got off the plane to the time we walked into the hotel was under 2 hours. I was very impressed.
Yeah, and that sounds like a very similar Magical Express experience, except for, like you said, you had to get your luggage, and you get on the bus the same place that we used to get on Magical Express, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it was right outside past the pull through for check-in. And then on the way back, they were 2 minutes early, loaded us up. We had 2 more stops on the way to the airport. I did ask at each stop. I was like, so what was your time you were told to be out? And basically everybody was within 2 to 5 minutes of the allotted time where they were supposed to be there. The last stop, I noticed we waited for a while, for about 5 minutes after the time, and the bus was getting ready to pull out, and I saw these 2 guys walk up with a suitcase, and the bus driver saw him, and so he stopped and he waited and let him get on. So it was pretty it was pretty much when they said you were going. So I was kind of impressed by that.
That is good to hear. And after I asked the question, I remembered you detailed this very clearly in our private Facebook group.
Well, somebody had asked for like, hey, by the way, I'd love to know like your experience, because I guess other people have had maybe not so great experiences. So I tried to gather as much data as I could.
I'm going to be intentional about that question more so because of the different stories we're all reading online and talking to people. What was the cost for that?
I believe it was $16 a person each way. So it was $32 for us both of us to go to one way.
Yeah, I think that is what I was thinking. You got a more economical transportation, but if you take Uber or Lyft, it's going to be obviously faster. So
yes,
and you're going to pay more. You're going to pay more, like
depending on how they go, I suppose. If they take the tollway, or
True enough for that.
So.
Fantastic. Let's talk about food. Do you like to eat when you go to Disney World? And you were on an adult trip.
Oh, yes.
And I got to ask you, did I influence you at all about this adult trip? Was it subliminal? Like, because kind of how we talk and theme of this podcast.
No, I happen to like food quite a lot on my own. I did, however, take pictures of the food.
Oh, okay.
Which I normally don't do, but I thought, they want pictures of the food. So I'd be like halfway done with the meal and be like, I'm supposed to take a picture.
I know, it's not easy.
But the food was here and I was hungry.
You don't have to tell me. You're preaching to the choir. So good.
So I will say the biggest disappointment of the trip is that the Mara did not have the African stew. That was so sad.
Oh, did they have it they used to have it?
They had the most amazing African stew. It was like, it had, I think, I don't know if it's lamb or beef and potatoes and peas and all kinds of, even my kids loved it. It was fantastic. However, they did have zebra domes to console us, which almost makes up for everything. So,
and cry in your zebra domes.
I cried in my zebra domes. And I know there's a lot of to free or regular, and I'm definitely in the gluten-free category.
Okay.
So
very good.
I feel like that distinction should be made.
Okay. And well, of course, Boma is known for their soups. And so I'm not surprised. It's great that they had that. They used to, at least tomorrow. Maybe they'll bring it back. But yeah, what were some of your favorite restaurants, meals on this trip? And I like the dynamic. I mean, you're going as adults. You got another couple with you. You've already impressed them with the accommodations. So, but yeah, what kind of restaurants did you guys try?
So this was fun because normally my family are a little bit more traditional in what they like to eat. So I got to go out and try some of the weirder stuff.
Good.
Which was awesome. I loved it. In addition to having a couple nice meals over at Animal Kingdom, we ate both at the Sanaa and at the Mara. We tried the Spice Road table, which was fantastic. I know there's been a lot of discussion about it, but I like the tapas style, the smaller plates. We got 4 to split among the table, and that was perfectly fine for the 4 of us. We enjoyed it, and we weren't overly stuffed, but we felt like we were very satisfied. And I think we did end up getting the little dessert platter as well, which was totally worth it.
Oh, good. I don't know about the desserts, but yeah, which 4 appetizers did you get?
Oh, we got the sampler platter, we got the dolmas, we got the hummus platter. I don't recall the 4th off the top of my head. And then the dessert was just a sampler, so it had like a spice cake and an almond cookie and some baklava on it. So yeah, so it was nice and pretty easy to split four ways. Most everything was either in 3 or 4 sections, or so you could divide them up.
I'm glad you like that. How about the drinks? Any good drinks?
We skipped drinking at the Spice Road table just because it was middle of the afternoon and we were going to Germany for dinner, and we held out for the German beer.
Do you have German heritage? You have some German heritage in you?
We do, yes.
All
yes,
right.
I do.
Had
an absolutely fantastic time in Germany. Enjoyed, although it was funny, 3 of us are engineers. My husband's an economist, so he's the odd man out. So my maid of honor, who has her PhD in mechanical engineering, they came up, they're like, well, do you want a liter or half liter? She's like, 1 liter. And her husband kind of looks at her. My husband, not to be outdone, is like, I'll take a liter too. And they bring these, of course, absolutely massive beers. And Ashley's going, that's a little bit more than I expected. And her husband looks at her and he's like, you're an engineer. How did you not know how much a liter was? So that was our joke for the trip is, you're an engineer. How did you not know how much a liter was? So yeah, luckily we stepped it up and they were able to get through them. So it was
fantastic. Germany is known for their engineering too, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I will say the grapefruit beer was quite good. It was very citrusy and very light, very nice. My husband had a very nice pale ale as well. So
yeah, well, just one
good beer.
You only had one beer?
Only the one for him. Yes. And I enjoyed my Riesling. So yeah.
That's good wine from Germany too. How was the German buffet?
It's one of our favorite meals. It's got such a nice variety of, we those of us who are more adventurous love to try all the different, the worst, and the salad is absolutely phenomenal. I love the tomato and onion salad. It's always so fresh and everything you get there is just absolutely amazing. And it also has some more traditional fare for those people who are less adventurous. So I feel like it's a really nice compromise for a larger group. In this case, I really kind of wanted Ash and Mike to enjoy the entertainment as well. And I was very impressed. I missed the days when you could get out there and polka, or how do the chicken dance. I will say this time they did the Alpenhorn, their xylophone and the cowbells all as part of their little half-hour show. And I was really impressed because I remember in the old days it would be like they do one or the other too, but they wouldn't do the entire range of it all in one go. So it's a different experience, but in some ways I think it's a little better even than it used to be.
Fantastic. So. Those are 2 good ones, both in Epcot. Did you venture out?
Yes, well, that was our Epcot day.
That's a good one.
So when we went to Magic Kingdom, I hadn't planned any meals. It was kind of whatever we could find. So we did do counter service. We loved the Mexican counter service at Pecos Bell. And that was a hit with everybody. And then for dinner, we were actually able to get on the wait list for Skipper Cantina, which I'd never done the wait list before. I've always done all the dining reservations. I'm a plan ahead person. So this whole spontaneity thing was weird. And it was especially strange because it was like you could get on, like there were, like you'd see like, oh, okay, look, there's a spot on the wait list, but we don't want to wait. But then you're like, oh, maybe we should, and the wait list spot would be gone. Then like you try 5 minutes later and it's like you get back on the wait list. And so it was kind of a hit and miss thing. So it was, if my advice would be, if you don't get on the wait list first, check a little later and see if something's opened up, because that was our experience.
And so this is on the mobile app you're talking about.
This was on the mobile app. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I think, I feel like it's one that you can get into even if you're just in the park and spontaneity is a thing. Well, I wanted to ask you too about Pecos Bill. Did you feel any different now that they don't have the buffet? That was a big hit in the past, but now they don't do that, right?
No, it was just the counter service. I think we all got like nachos and pretty standard fare of the rice dish bowl or whatever. So it was just I
like that though.
Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was really good food. We went up to one of the little rooms up above, so we didn't have to deal with as much of the crowd down below. It's very loud in the main room.
There's an upstairs at Pecos
There's
Bill?
an upstairs. It's like it's like halfway between Pecos Bill and Tortuga Tavern. And if you go almost out of the restaurant, there's a little ramp up the left-hand side. And if you go up the ramp, there's another couple rooms back up there that are smaller and have more seating.
Upstairs. I didn't know this. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And they're quieter.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like we
Yeah.
always talk about. I've got the T-shirt from Columbia Harbor House, and the upstairs
And eating
crew.
upstairs. Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. I did that. I learned something today. Look at that.
Yeah, it's and it's nice. My father and I are both harder of hearing due to some hearing loss. And so it's nicer to find the quieter parts to the restaurant where you can actually carry on a conversation without me going, I'm sorry, what? What are you saying? So we try to find those little nooks.
1 second. I'm going to write that down for my June trip.
Yes, so it's good. It's kind of like right as you're going out the exit, you just veer off to the left and go up the ramp. And
I love that tip. All right. They'll talk to me about the Skipper's Canteen. That's one of our favorites too.
oh, it was fantastic. So the jokes are bad and the food is good, which I think is the way it's supposed to be.
I love that.
We had a fantastic server. Absolutely, and it's interesting because you could kind of watch him interact with the groups that had children and then the groups that didn't have children, and the jokes kind of got a little more PG-13 for the older crew. Yeah, exactly.
Really? That's fantastic.
Yes, and I mean he was no less funny, but perhaps a lot more. Like there was a table behind us that had very young children, and it was still funny, but it was more age appropriate, like jokes and such. Whereas with us, he kind of
That's fantastic.
He didn't take it to a bad place, but it was certainly more adult.
That's great. I don't always hear that the servers do the whole shtick. So I'm glad that you got a really good server. I know
it was really good.
When we first went there, I felt like they definitely were doing that. And then other times have been not so much. So this is good to hear. I like that.
Yeah. And he said he'd been there for 5 or 6 years. So
Okay.
I think he was
Working on his
quite
craft.
experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a chance to work up the jokes.
Well, like you said, you were experimenting in your meal choices. So what did you have?
So we actually got one of everything of the main dishes on the meal and split between the four of us. So, we tried, the pork was probably the best of all of them. We all agreed that the pork was by far, the best dish.
Pork cachapas?
The cachapas were absolutely amazing. Yes. But this was the, and I'm trying to think of the name. It has a funny name.
Shout out to our good friend Deirdre Watts, that's her favorite meal on property.
Yes. But yeah, it was the pork dish was just to die for. It was so well cooked and and very, very good. The steak was good. The noodle dish was also good. I mean, it wasn't like anything we had I wouldn't eat again, but the pork was truly fantastic. It was not overly spicy. It was kind of like a sweeter sauce, more what I consider to be like Thai or Oriental than spicy.
Good.
So
fantastic. How many nights did you do, Jocelyn? I didn't even ask you.
We were there for 4 nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's more food then, I hope.
There is more food.
Yeah. Yippee.
On the list of things that I had never done, our third day we went to Hollywood Studios. Actually, it was our 4th day. We went to Hollywood Studios. I drug my poor friends all through everything Star Wars I could get my hands on while I was there because, my parents were like, yeah, Star Wars, great, fine, we'll do the rides and stuff. But I'm like, no, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
I got to eat at Docking Bay 7, which was fantastic. I was surprised at how amazingly good the food was, considering it's counter service. Like the beef was just melt in your mouth. Delicious. The chicken was fried chicken. Can't go wrong with fried chicken, but the beef was amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you there. What's that? I always forget the name of that beef, but it's like a fork. You can just.
Yeah,
cut
it just
right?
fell apart.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly. And the nice thing is we actually ordered while we were in line for Smuggler's Run. So we sat there and we got all the order placed and everything. I love the mobile ordering, so that it's like, okay, well, we'll be in this ride for an hour and then we will come out and we'll just click, we are here. It's a really, it's a nice way to kill time in line, as well as get all excited about your food in advance.
And the menu, I'm looking at the menu. So that is smoky braised beef. That's what that is. It is fantastic. Oh. The ribs are good there too. I've had the ribs.
Yeah, we didn't try the ribs. We split just the two dishes, the chicken and the beef. Because the other thing we were doing later that afternoon was going to Oga's, which was, I want a big shout out to all the geeks who, I posted a desperate plea about what drinks do we order here. And the geeks did not disappoint. They came up with the best ones in my book. So
oh, good. Which are the best ones?
I believe there were several votes for the Fuzzy Tauntaun, which was a divine drink. Went down real smooth. We got to be careful of those in the middle of the day, let me tell you. The Bespin Fizz was really fun. We two of us got that, and it was really neat. The Jetpack Juice was, I think it's called that, was kind of a disappointment. It's a lot like the Bespin Fizz, but it doesn't fizz. And so that was like, well, what's the point at this stage? We got the cheese board, the meat and cheese board, because I think that's required if you're a geek. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, it's a law.
It's a law, right?
Geek and law. Gotta have the charcuterie board, even if it's out of space and looks kind of weird, and you're not sure what it is you're eating.
Well, and that was the funny thing, is because it was like such common things, but it was the presentation was very unique. You're like, I'm pretty sure this is just like bratwurst, but I don't know what they've done to it.
Some of them are vegetables and some are beef. And is there cheese on that thing? I'm not sure.
There's cheese. Yes,
okay.
There's cheese. And we also got the basket of the veggie chips, which was really good.
Oh, cool.
It came with I think it's almost like a basil sauce for the dipping. Oh, that was really good. I probably could have gone through 2 or 3 bowls of that myself.
Now, I don't know if I can trust you on these, because you had the Fuzzy Tauntaun, and isn't that the one with the buzz tingling foam?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't your mouth numb from that?
Well, so actually my husband got that, and he let me have a couple drinks because I wanted to try the Bespin Fizz because I wanted something that fizzed.
Okay.
So don't believe a word he says, but I got you back.
It's funny. We get a couple of different opinions, I think, on the podcast for the charcuterie board there, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It's definitely fun.
Definitely, it's definitely different. You're like chewing on the little meat chunks going, wonder what it is.
And shouldn't
Maybe
that
I don't
be
need to know.
I mean, you're in the Star Wars bar from the original movie.
Exactly.
It should be a little weird, right?
Now we're trying to figure out, the thing they need is they got that frog critter up there with the little eggs. They really need some sort of drink with the little eggs floating in it.
Whoa, I don't know. You're taking it a little far there.
So
good fun. Are you a big Star Wars fan?
I would say so. Yes. Okay. We, I wouldn't say I am the most crazy Star Wars person I've ever met. I do happen to have my little Star Wars Legos all over the place, which,
fantastic.
Just keeps life interesting.
Oh, yeah. I've got one too. My son Ben gave me one for Christmas, and you collect, or have you made any of these?
Oh,
Boba
you have
Fett.
The Boba Fett. Yes,
These is
really nice. They really are, and they take a lot of time, which kind of, it's an activity, not just a finished product at
for
that
sure.
stage. So.
But it is fun to put it up in your display areas too.
Yes. So, one of the cool things I really like. So they have really neat gift cards. And I know it's kind of weird to be nerding out on the gift cards, but let me just tell you the best gift cards there are.
Okay. So
the first coolest one is the one in Star Wars. And if you go into where they do, where they build the droid factory, you can get they're solid metal coins, or they look like Star Wars money gift cards, and they're Disney gift cards. They're accepted everywhere on Disney property. But why would you use them anywhere else but Star Wars World, really? The only catch is you have to buy them and you have to initially put $100 on them. Mm-hmm. So it's a rather expensive souvenir. But on the other hand, you then get to use the $100. So, you know, it's, at Disney, that goes quickly.
$100 doesn't get what you used to get, right?
I know. It's like, all right, I'll use one of these to pay for drinks, or two of these to pay for drinks, I suppose.
Unfortunately, true.
But they also make really neat souvenirs for people if you want to, because you can put more money on them after the fact if you need to, and then give them as gifts. So
yeah, I've heard of this. I've seen pictures in our group, but it's fun to talk. Thanks for bringing that up. That's great.
Yeah, there's some fun gift cards down there. They have some like neat wooden ones at Animal Kingdom, and if you look around, there's some really cool gift card options. So
fantastic. We're not even done with the food yet, are we?
So let's see. So then pretty much the rest of it was just eating at the hotel, and obviously breakfast was boring because we did that in the room with the bagels and the cereal and just stuff you could keep. We had a refrigerator in the two bedrooms, so it was nice. We ate I think 3 meals in the room, which was normally when we go with the kids, we'll actually run out to Walmart and stock up on groceries, and it's not uncommon for us to eat 2 or 3 meals in a room. Where we'll get loaves of bread and we'll pick up some lunch meat and some chips and carrots, and come back to the room in the middle of the day and have lunch in the hotel room. And man, it saves a lot of money. It's fun to eat in the park, but when there's, if we go with my little brother, when there's 10 of you, it gets rather expensive.
Gotcha. And well, let's move on to, this was the first time going as adults. Did you do anything for the first time?
So other than the food, which was a lot of it was new to me, this is our first time doing Remy. We hadn't been there since they opened Remy. Mm-hmm. It's fun going with a group of engineers because somebody's going to sit there and analyze how the ride's constructed. We totally were all over that, but they were absolutely blown away. They're like, this is, so I should say we did Magic Kingdom first, Epcot second, and Hollywood Studios third. And I feel like the order is very specific because, they loved Magic Kingdom. Right. Splash Mountain was fantastic for them. They, it was novel. They liked the whole idea of both the show and the ride and kind of the spaced out ride. So then we took them on Remy, and they were blown away. Holy cow, I had no idea a ride could be like this, and they were just floored that, the mix of the perspective with the autonomous vehicles, that really made you feel, like you're, just by yourself in this ride, right? Yeah. It was incredible. And the blend of they do in Fantasmic, the blend of breaking that third wall, they'll splash you with water, the scents, the full immersion, not just a ride. It's an experience,
For sure.
So they absolutely loved Remy. Totally blown away by that.
Love
and
that.
Then we took them the next day to Hollywood Studios. It's interesting because everybody, we tried to hit up early enough that we could do all of the good rides in the morning, do the Aerosmith roller coaster, and then we went on Mickey Minnie, and that's probably my husband's favorite ride, mostly because it takes you into a cartoon and a very different, like it's almost a mind-blowing twist on, even Remy kind of looks like it's animated to look like the real world. But Mickey, Minnie, Donald, all the Ralph Bakshi cartoons look very, very different and feel different than anything that's in the real world,
Great
and
point.
So he thinks that's an absolutely fantastic.
I agree with you. I really like that ride. Yeah, I love your opinion on that too. Fantastic. Well, I want to ask everyone that comes on the show now too, and you could take a broader perspective on this, but did you do Genie Plus or Lightning Lane or buy individual Lightning Lanes? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
I did more than I expected, actually.
All right. I'd love to hear your experience.
So, don't worry, I'm an expert. I've done this before. Yeah, I screwed it up the first time. Not gonna lie.
You know what? No judgment. No judgment zone here.
We knew we wanted to do a individual lightning lane for Remy, because we didn't want to have to wait in the hour and a half, 2 hour line for Remy. And we thought, well, we'll get there early enough. We can do all of the test track and mission space and all that stuff early. So, and we looked at the lines and we're like, well, if we hit test track first thing, we should be able to do everything else, or, rest of the day with no problem. So of course I get up that morning, 7:00 on it, and I bought Genie Plus. I'm like, darn.
You did it by accident?
I did, yes. I thought I was getting the Lightning Lane, and I got Genie Plus, and then, of course, I had to go back and get the Lightning Lane because I wanted to do the Lightning Lane. So we ended up with Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane that day, which worked out very well for us because Test Track was closed in the morning, so we were able to get a Lightning Lane for Test Track and do the Genie Plus for Test Track, do the Lightning Lane for Remy, and then you can get a second Genie Plus Lightning Lane for 2 hours after the park opens. And I got back on and we got Frozen as well.
Oh, nice.
And I had kind of, said, well, Frozen doesn't really matter because I'm with a group of adults and they're okay skipping it or riding it, whichever. So we got the bonus Frozen there at the end of the day. And I think they really enjoyed, seeing that. They actually were very fascinated by the faces on the characters, and how that new technology works. So in some ways it wasn't the end of the world because we got to do our test track and for engineers that's like a little slice of heaven. And they loved it. So
I can totally see your perspective of engineers just being very wowed. Yeah.
Yes. And design,
cool.
Of course, there's a little bit of a competition on who could design the best car. So, I'll just say the girls won. Just throwing that out there.
Fantastic. Yeah. I love some trash talk at Test Track. Well, so your mistake was, I thought you were going to be disappointed, but it sounds like you made a good mistake.
It worked out. It worked out very well for us.
And it's funny. We just answered this question on Traveling Tierras. Something very similar to this question came up with one of our listeners who's down there right now, who was wondering, should they get Genie Plus for Epcot? They really want to try to hit all the rides. Sounds like that is a good thing if you really want to hit them all.
I think if you're focused, you can do them pretty easily without it. Mm-hmm. If you want to do Remy early, I will say my parents actually went the week before we went. So we staggered our Disney trips. They went on an adults trip, then we went on an adults trip. They actually were staying over at the boardwalk, and they were able to get in early and go straight to Remy. And so they waited for like maybe 20, 30 minutes first thing in the morning for Remy, and they didn't. Yep. Yeah, and they didn't have to do Lightning Lane. But, coming from the front of the park and depending on the bus system, we decided that we didn't want to have to sprint all the way back to Remy to try to get, beat all the people coming in off the Skyliner and from Boardwalk and everything. So
at what point did you buy the individual Lightning Lane for Remy?
So I bought Genie Plus at 7 a.m. and I bought the Lightning Lane about 7:15 because it took me that long to figure out what I had done and see if I could undo it. And of course you can't undo it. So I had to learn to live with it. Yeah. But like I said, it worked out well.
And what time did you get the Remy?
So we opted for a late afternoon Remy. So we had reservations for Germany at 6:45. So we did 5 to 6 on Remy. So we could just walk around the countries and hit Remy and then go on over to Germany.
And was it a lightning wait to get into Remy?
Oh yeah, for it? Yes. Yes, okay. It was really good. Now I will say on Rise we had a different experience, and that was very vexing.
Tell me.
So we did the Lightning Lane for Rise. The wait was short, no problem. We get all assigned to the same car, and we're all on orange or whatever. We go through the the prison and, all right, it's time to escape. So we get out there, and two of the people had gone into red and 2 people had gone into orange. And so there's 4 of us sitting there looking. And of course, we're like, get on, get on, get on. And we're like, but we're here together. And they're like, well, just split up. And we're like, really? Like, we waited all this time for this? Really? So I was a little bit vexed by that. But
okay.
Can you do?
I thought you were going to tell me it
Now
broke down, but
no, it did, but not when we were on it.
okay.
And I will say, it was funny. We get off Rise of the Resistance, and Ashley looked at me. She's like, "We're done. Nothing can top that.
Oh, good.
We're going home. We are just we're done. We are leaving the park because absolutely nothing could be better than that." So. Oh,
that must have made you feel, because I understand the stress and anxiety of bringing new people, or you don't know what their reaction's going to be, right? I mean, yeah,
especially when, it's like they're older, they don't have kids,
Yeah, I understand
and
that.
they're not used to Disney. Yeah. And so, but they were, for not being Disney files, they were very impressed by everything Disney, and stuff you don't even think about, as you're going through the ride, other people point out, like we were walking through Toy Story, the Midway Mania. Mike was like, have you noticed how clean everything is? It's like, how do they keep these walls up with people touching them every day, all the time, without having so many coats of paint on it that the paint's flaking off? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never thought about that. But, they were really impressed by the quality that Disney brings. So.
Well, that makes us all feel good. I know it made you feel good, and that makes me feel good too. I'm glad you had a good experience and you didn't have to listen to complaints. But how was the service? Did you guys have any magical pixie dust moments, or?
Other than, I mean, honestly, just having our room upgraded is about the greatest pixie dust I've ever, that was it for the trip, and that was fantastic.
That is great.
We didn't get anything. It wasn't, sometimes you'll be there and it'll be like, here, have a, nothing like that. But getting our room upgraded was magical. That was absolutely amazing.
Did they recognize the cast members, how they add to the experience?
So I will say that our friends were very impressed with everything. I mean, like, as far as the quality of service at the restaurants, and the cast members this time were phenomenal. Everybody we interacted with, from the bus drivers to the hotel staff. At one stage, one of my friends lost their room key, park pass, and they were absolutely freaking out. I'm like, don't worry, Disney's got this. We'll walk right up here. It'll be taken care of in 2 seconds, and it was. And I mean, that's just the magic of Disney. And it's like, well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. They can take care of you. They've got your back. They were very impressed by all of the quality of service, the whole way through.
So now that you have this experience, what is the best way for an adult's trip only? Got any tips?
So, it's funny with the kids. When the kids were little, we used to go super early to the park, rope drop. We would go home after, around lunch, either before or after, right after lunch, relax in the afternoon, nap, go to the park and pool, then return in the evening. So with the adults, we got up, we rope dropped, we went back in the afternoon, everybody took a nap. And then we went back in the evening. And the one day we didn't take the nap, they're like, can we go back early? We're tired.
Yeah, Disney can beat you up. Was it hot too?
It was, well, the one day in Magic Kingdom it rained, which kept it nice and cool, but the rest of the time it was very hot for May. It was up in the 90s. If you're not staying hydrated, we have we carry water bottles the whole time and drink like fish. One of the greatest perks of Disney is free ice water everywhere you go. That's a huge perk. Nothing in Disney's free except the ice water.
That's right.
But even so, it is exhausting. I would say, the best thing that we did is we just let go of trying to get everything done. And we just enjoyed what we could. We were in the moment. And, they didn't know they were missing anything. I mean, they don't They have no idea the shows they missed at Hollywood Studios, and they're okay with that,
Right.
But they really enjoyed the time they had, and they enjoyed the time at the hotel too, which, given what you pay for a hotel at Disney, it's nice to enjoy it and remember that it's, Ashley was like, you could just come here and stay like this is a resort. I'm like, yeah, you could. It was a nice resort. We loved both the pools, although Kidani Village has a much better pool. Just throwing that out there. Better water slide, bigger pool over at Jumbo House, better water slide at Kidani. But don't try to do everything. Just enjoy what you can. Spend time at the hotel.
And you didn't
Don't
do
die.
Animal Kingdom then?
No? Ben and I ditched them. They had to leave for an early flight, and so we said, all right, we'll say goodnight the night beforehand, and we got up and we went and did Animal Kingdom by ourselves.
Okay.
The last before our flight, and we managed to get Flight of Passage, Navi Small World, the Safari, and then we had lunch in Pandora, which is an amazing, absolutely amazing food. Love the garlic shrimp. It's just out of this world. Yeah. We actually got our kids' cool souvenirs this trip while we were there. They had little banshees, little wristlet banshees.
Oh, really?
I'll post a picture up on the Facebook group. They're adorable. Oh. Like, we have the shoulder banshees they got years ago.
Yeah.
But they're tiny little wristlet banshees, and I think they were like $40 or something like that.
Okay.
Perfect souvenir. They come in eggs. They're about 6 inches. The eggs are about 6 inches tall. Oh, the kids were over the moon, and the little banshees will, flap their little wings, and it was a really neat souvenir for them. So
yeah, definitely post the picture. I'm kind of interested. That's cute.
Yeah, it was fun. So and we got different colors for each child, so they were thrilled. Fantastic.
Well, I want to get into some of your tips. Before we started recording, Jocelyn, you were commenting on our recent episode. We had a question from someone about bringing their young child on Haunted Mansion. I think it was very specifically asking.
Yes.
Did you have a commentary on that or a question on that?
It was interesting because I was going to share, having two small children who are at different ages and stages, Haunted Mansion has been one of those extremely weird things for us. When we took our children from the time they were tiny, 2-year-old had no problem with it. 4-year-old, no problem with it. 6 years old, my daughter started to get a little bit freaked out by it. And from like 6 to 9, she got really scared with the Haunted Mansion, didn't want to ride on it. So I finally one day said, look, you're going to ride with me. I will tell you how they do all of the illusions and the whole ride. And she's like, okay. And so she rode with me, and I told her how they did all the illusions. And she was thrilled. And that's one of her favorite rides now, because, my little niece was with us, and she was a little bit nervous at 8. And Anna's like, you can ride with me and I'll tell you how they do it. But yeah, it was very strange because she had absolutely no problem. Yeah. When she was little, but once she got old enough to kind of understand what ghosts were, it started to be a little scarier. And so, I thought that was more interesting, that she was more psychologically ready at 4 than she was at 9.
That is a different take on that question, but I think Margita and Judy answered it properly. I think the first thing out of Judy's mouth was, well, it depends on the child, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. And my son's never had a problem. He loves it, And I will say, Tower of Terror was the same way. My daughter's never had a problem with the ride. Up and down, no problem. Okay. It really freaked her out, the ghosts, beckoning to her to come join them. And that was another one where I had to spoil the magic and be like, okay, do you see the mirror? You see how they have and kind of try to tell her how it was done, that they're not really ghosts, and
wow,
she was still a little bit leery about the ride, not because of the drops, just because of the psychological aspect of the ride. So,
well, I was traumatized as a kid from Twilight Zone. I still have nightmares from the real Twilight Zone. And so I think I carry that with me when I go into that ride still. Probably my wife too. That is like her favorite show of all time. They have the marathons. Like she just like parks it near the TV and half the night goes away watching Twilight Zone. But
it's fantastic. Yeah.
With kids, you really don't know what they're going to enjoy. You don't know if they're going to cry at Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Depending on their age. You just don't know. I mean, I think I can just remember Glenn Kessler talking about taking his 5-year-old individual trips with his kids and really just trying to understand. I mean, it's part of that bonding to understand what their personalities are and how they see things. And I think you're right. You got to prepare them. Margita said this, prepare them ahead of time and have those conversations with them, I guess.
Yeah. And there's some cool, Disney Plus shows on now. If your kids are a little older, there's like a making of the Haunted Mansion. That's
great point.
My kids loved watching that. It was really fun. So.
Yeah. They've got that advantage. We always had we had these VHS tapes with the characters running around through the parks. We used to show that to the kids when they were little. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I will say, when our kids were little, we would always say, now Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse is mommy's size, to get them used to the idea that the characters are not little like them. The characters are big like mommy and daddy,
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Great job. So, I like this question. What's your best advice for a newcomer, Jocelyn, to Disney World?
Take a nap.
Boy, that is great advice. For sure. Try not to,
avoid the heat of the day. There's no reason to be out when it's 98 degrees in the middle of the day.
I'm into that, sister. I am. Margita's having trouble with some bone spurs and she's going to get a scooter. I said, she hasn't been in a couple of years. I'm like, we're going to take it easy on this trip, right? We don't have, I like going hard. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's just not possible in summertime for sure.
You might as well enjoy the trip you're on.
I know it. Don't beat yourself into the ground. Enjoy those resorts, like you said. That's a fantastic tip. How'd you make it fun for them?
They love the food. They love the shows. They like they love the rides and everything. Although I will say adults are just as bad at standing in line as children are. Like, oh, seriously, Ashley, what were you expecting?
I'm guilty of that right here.
Stop whining. We're in this line and we're not leaving.
Here, take this iPad.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to play the Disney Play games? Because I can pull it up on my phone for you.
Well, I've got this big podcast community and I can chat with them through the whole hour in the line.
Right? Exactly.
Taking pictures, goofing up. Yeah, fantastic. So. Did we miss anything, Jocelyn? Is there anything?
It has been such a pleasure. I was looking down at my watch. I'm like, man, it's, only been like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm looking down going, man, we have talked forever. It's been wonderful. So, I love Disney, obviously. And I think it's really fun to try to find some of the little extras, like the Epcot special events or, doing the finding the wine and cheese festival or, some of those and, just finding something that really speaks to you and makes each trip memorable, just something like that. So.
Well, that reminds me of the question I like to finish with, actually. This is our good friend, Wendy Fox. Their family tradition is asking everyone when they get home, what's that one moment that's going to stay with you from this trip? And if you can speak for your friends and your husband, give it a shot.
Well, I would say for me, it was walking off Rise of the Resistance and just seeing the absolute amazement. These are, 40-somethings just in like little kids, like in awe, like jaws hanging open on how exceptional it was, and finding out that kind of magic doesn't go away. And it's that was fun. It was almost as much fun as taking my kids for the first time,
I'm totally feeling this from you because I felt that way. When we got off that ride, I went, Wow, that was
Wow.
that was not a ride. That was an experience.
Right. Yes.
And it's so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad your friends felt that same way. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and sharing that, and bringing that kind of joy to other people. That's just fun. It's a blast. So.
I like their engineering experience and take on things. So you guys are naturally geeky.
we are very geeky. Yes, we fit it.
You take geek
we
to
fit it in the
another
name.
level.
We take geeks to the geek level. Yes.
Fantastic.
So.
What about your husband? Did he have a good time?
Oh, he has a great time. He loved it. He enjoyed everything. He likes the naps too. He's a big nap proponent. He's like, why do my children not do this more often? Don't they realize how great naps are?
So true. Yeah. You get beat down by that heat and early morning getting up. And so a quick nap will definitely do the trick. Well, I can't believe it's been so long. When did we first meet? It's years ago, and you just got on
It has been, yeah.
A trip report.
Yeah, it was like
I'm embarrassed.
5 or 6 years, but I have gotten so much from the geeks through the years, so I just hope that maybe some tips might help some other geeks coming down the road.
Well, thank you for all your contributions in our private Facebook group and now coming on the show. I wrote down a couple things. I'm excited to try that upstairs at Pecos Bill. What was the other one?
It's a nice place. Yeah, it's good. It's a good little spot.
The pork dish. I am definitely at Skipper's Canteen, and I want that bread. Did you ask for the bread? The Brazilian cheese bread?
No, they offered it, but we were we did try we wanted to try the pork appetizer too. It was really good.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming on, and definitely
Thank you for having me.
Stay in touch.
For sure. So yeah, hopefully one of these days I'll be able to make it down to one of the great geek gatherings. So that'll
let me know.
That'll be fun. Looking forward to that. So
I will introduce you to.
Unfortunately, we're still on the kids' schedules right now.
I understand.
So.
I totally get it. Well, an adult trip,
That might be true. Yeah. If I can con the parents into babysitting, we'll be down in a heartbeat. So.
I can guarantee you'd have a great time. You would fit in. This is perfectly, no doubt.
For sure. All right. Well,
Thanks.
You have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for doing these. They bring so much joy to us. So.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So glad I got Jocelyn finally onto the podcast. It's been a long time in waiting, and she's going back to Disney World. I messaged her to get some pictures for the Facebook group and my website, and she said she's going back next Friday. Fantastic. Have a great trip, Jocelyn. I hope you enjoyed listening back to this podcast, and got to do a shout out to my friends who did the intro this week. The solo ladies, Wendy Fox, Samantha Kuhn, Rebecca Rudin, Travis Diedrich, and Andy Hoffman. And you're wondering, ladies? Travis and Andy? Yes, it's an inside joke because I've always wanted to be a part of the solo ladies group, but they would never let me in. Somehow in a weak moment, they let Travis and Andy in. That's the inside joke. So much fun. They had a great weekend down there in Disney World last weekend for Samantha's birthday. Congratulations. She's celebrating her birthday all month, apparently. Don't forget the Maryland Geek Meet at the Renaissance Fair this coming August 27th. Contact Glenn Kessler if you'd like to go to the Maryland Geek Meet. All are welcome. He'd love to hear from you and see you down. I can't wait to see all the pictures and fun having down at the Renaissance Fair for the Maryland Geek Meet. Check that out. One more shout out for Natalie Boyle, who is my most recent Patreon supporter. Patreon.com is where you can pledge a monthly donation to the show. Natalie did a really nice donation to the show. So thank you, Natalie. Welcome to the Patreon group. She says back to me, I was messaging her, thanking her. And she said, thanks, Kurt. I'd been thinking about signing up for a bit and figured that since I have many long runs coming up with the dopey training, I wanted some extra content to help me through. Well, congratulations on your training for the dopey marathon. That's, I believe, the January marathon and all of the 5K, 10K. So doing the dopey is the whole kit and caboodle. So best of luck, Natalie, in your training and challenge that you're doing. That is a fantastic way to get in shape. I've been really excited. I've been doing this 21-day challenge, losing weight and doing some really positive habits like drinking extra water and all my steps, tracking my calories and keeping my calorie count down. And I've lost some weight, and we've got a lot of enthusiasm for the Poo to Tigger Facebook group. A lot of encouragement going on there. Thank you all for encouraging me, and I see lots of others posting in there their encouragement and their success stories. So check out Poo to Tigger. Contact me if you'd like to get into that private Facebook group, watching our healthy habits and becoming a Tigger instead of a Pooh Bear. Well, I'm on a little bit of a rush. I am running out today up to my son's house in Massachusetts, having a big picnic, so I'm really excited to do that. And then I'm going to a concert with the Steve Miller Band with Lindsay Sunday night. I got a Yankee game next week, too. So lots going on here this summer. Hope you're having a great summer, too. And we are still committed to helping you enjoy your Disney World vacation. So reach out to us, the Travel Interiors, or me, if you'd like to book a trip or do a trip report. My email is kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. And thanks for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true.